Coming up on this episode of DL Weekly, a new nighttime show is coming soon. Tiana's Palace open to large crowds. New menu items at other locations.
Oogie Boogie Bash details new things coming to the park. We finish our talk with Imagineer and Disney artist Eric Robison and more. DL Weekly starts now.
Hello, everyone. Welcome aboard the DL Weekly podcast. Please lower your head and watch your step while boarding. If this is your first time listening, we hope you'll check out our website at DLWeekly.net. If you have more time to spend, becoming an official weekly tier at DLWeekly.net/support is an especially good value. Thanks for traveling with us today, and we hope you have a happy and memorable listen to this week's episode.
Hello and welcome to this episode of DL Weekly for the week of September 13th, 2023. I'm Tag Bushman.
And I'm Teresa Urban. We would like to thank the current weekly tiers, including Miguel V, Chris Y, Alex W, and Megan G for supporting the show. Without your support, DL Weekly would not be possible. Your support ensures that the podcast will continue and that we can make it to the parks more often to bring you the latest news and information right from the parks. If you would like to become an official weekly tier, head on over to dlweekly.net/support to sign up.
Well, our friends over at All Enchanting Ears have been busy. They make fun and unique ears, plus ear holders, straw toppers, lithophanes, and more. They're offering a special discount code available just to weekly tiers. Use code DLWeekly10 for 10% off your entire purchase. Head on over to allenchantingears.com to check them out.
Now let's get to the news.
A new nighttime show is coming to the Rivers of America soon. No, this isn't a replacement for Fantasmic just yet, but is a little more showy than the musical acts that were a temporary replacement for the summer. The Heartbeat of New Orleans, a living mural, is the new show, and it will feature a dynamic jazz score and projections. The story will follow a mischievous little frog from the bayou that leaps into the lively heartbeat of New Orleans when he is lured by the jazzy sounds he hears in the distance. The show debuts on September 29th and will run on select nights throughout the fall, but also will not replace the current musical acts that they have out there. It'll be an addition to.
Yes. This looks fun. Again, like Tay mentioned, this is no Fantasmic, but it's something a little more exciting, something to bring a little more life and entertainment to the area, which it's such a great stage and area to do so in. So this will have more, it sounds like it's going to be, so right now it's just kind of a band that's floating along the rivers, which is fun.
With the water. They have the fountains going.
And the fountains are going, which is fun. But this sounds like it's going to incorporate more technology. So you'll see stuff probably projected on maybe the buildings, mist screens for sure, probably more of the lighting effects and such used. So I'm curious to see what this comes into play. It sounds like it's going to be kind of a more original story, which is always exciting. It's not just going to be a Disney film projected onto the Rivers of America. So I'm really excited to see what mischievous things this frog can get into.
Something I just remembered seeing this week, too, by the way, is the fire effects are back at World of Color, which have been on hiatus since the Murphy incident. So
it makes me wonder because the fire was not included for Halloween Screams. So I'm wondering if that's coming back, if that's back too. I'm going to assume so.
I saw an interesting thing. I don't know if this is true, but I was watching Fresh Baked, his construction update for this week, and he was saying that his guess as to why all the Fantasyland buildings have been refurbished recently was he thinks that it's because of like fireworks fallout on them.
Could be.
And so I'm wondering if maybe they're doing some extra things to try to make those areas a little more resilient to that stuff.
Yeah,
so maybe that's what we'll need to be able to get the fire effects on the castle back. And stuff like that. So I don't know. That's just what he said. But the idea is intriguing. Yeah.
I'm curious, though, since it's back for World of Color, if it's going to be back for Halloween Screams or if it's going to be a delay. But
sure.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, though. I mean, that fireball they have in World of Color is pretty spectacular.
It's wild. One other thing, too, that I want to talk about with the new show is that it's going to feature original animated artwork by Disney Live Entertainment graphic designer Marcella Sweat, which we have seen her. She's the one that does those fabulous chalk.
Yeah, I met
drawings.
her. I had a whole conversation with her,
and she's wonderful. So I'm really excited to see what of hers is brought to life.
Yeah.
Tiana's Palace finally opened to eager guests last week, and when we say eager, I mean the lines were insane. There was lots of eager guests. Well, on opening day, the standby line for food was over an hour long, and mobile orders stretched into the evening pretty early in the day. The interior of the restaurant looks amazing, with new decor nods to the movie. The food has been a hit with guests, with New Orleans-inspired dishes and freshly prepared beignets.
A couple things. One, I have not eaten in this dining location.
Oh, you haven't?
For a very long time. And so seeing the photos of the reworked thing like triggered some memories of me actually eating in here. But literally, it is not since we've done the podcast have I eaten here.
Oh, wow.
So it was just one of those things. I don't know why, but we have to, obviously, when we go next time, we have to try to get in here.
Yeah.
One of the things that I really like about it is the fact that they have these like beignet filling stations that you can see the cast members like making them freshly.
You know what? I read something about the beignets because we were trying to figure out why they weren't just classic beignets and why they're filled. Oh, now I forget who at Disney this quote was from, but it's intentional because the beignets are very famous, but the lemon icebox pie is also like a thing for New
Lindell
Orleans.
Skinner, a senior manager at Disneyland.
There we go. Oh, I read it in the article that we linked. That's where I read it. But yeah, so they talk about how it's another traditional dessert, not as well known by tourists as the beignets are, but it's another traditional dessert there that they kind of melded together. So I thought that made more sense because I was like, oh, that's seemed like a interesting choice or unique choice. I wasn't mad about it, but I just didn't know where it came from. So it's really cool that there's an extra story behind that.
Yeah. So overall, I think the restaurant looks really nice. I think that they've done a great job refreshing it.
There's live music in the eating area again too, which is very exciting.
Yeah. And then the food. I've heard reviews of the food. People just love the food.
I'm really excited to go in, hopefully once things have died down a little bit, because I'm really intrigued by all of the different details that they've hidden within the area that you go, like, order your food and pick up your food from.
Like so the main section of the inside.
Yeah, the main. It's not a dining room. It's kind of it's and I don't want to say cafeteria because that feels like it kind of.
It's kind of like at the Plaza Inn where you go and get your food. It's kind of like food area.
Yeah. So I really want to go and like absorb and look at all these details because there looks to be a ton of really fun nods to the film, to New Orleans itself. So I really want to go check all of that out. But right now, the demand is wild. It is crazy. I've seen reports that even if you get up in the morning and try and get your mobile order in, you could be looking at like, oh, it's 8 a.m. and we're already pushed into like dinner time if there's anything still available. So very, very popular place right now. I think it probably will be for a while.
What do you think of Tiana's outfit? Because she did.
Oh, that's right. She does
debuted a new outfit too.
I like it. I think it's fun.
Yeah. I think this will be a lot easier for Tiana to get around and mingle with guests a little bit.
Yes.
Rather than the like big like ballroom dress that would be very difficult.
It's more casual. That's like so the ballroom dress. I'm going to call her princess attire.
Sure. This
is kind of more of an everyday business look.
They also added some tables and chairs over by the mobile or pickup area. So overall, I think there's just a lot more capacity at this location,
which will be great.
Yeah, so I'm excited by all that.
And
the mobile order window.
I love that they have a mobile order window and then it's off to the side and it's not kind of in the middle of where the main seating area was. So yeah, I'm really curious and excited to check this out. I don't know where we were just talking about this before the show. This is going to be a really difficult trip for us coming up because we only have one day that we have access to Disneyland, and then the second day that we're in the parks is Oogie Boogie Bash, and we only have our park ticket that day, so we're locked over in DCA for that day. So we're gonna have to really be intentional about our food choices because we don't have much time.
Yeah, plus all the holiday foods and the Oogie Boogie Bash foods, and it's gonna be impossible for us to have it all.
It is.
Well, Tiana's Palace isn't the only place on the west side of the park with new menu items. The Riverbill Terrace, Cafe Orleans, and the Carnation Cafe are all offering new options for guests. This also includes alcoholic and some non-alcoholic options in addition to the food.
This was, I don't know, I guess I knew that we were going to have new drinks coming. I was not expecting or maybe forgotten or just plain missed that there was also going to be updates to the menu. And to me, It looks like the Riverbell Terrace menu got a lot of new stuff added to it. Some of the favorites are, of course, still there, but it's almost like it feels like it's a new menu. I don't know if it fully, if it changed enough to technically be a new menu.
There's so much on this list, yeah.
But there's just a ton. So we'll try and go through the new items only quickly.
I don't know how you're going to do that. Like, literally everything's new.
Yeah, that's true. Well, no, because look, the short stack.
1, 2,
Biscuits
3,
and gravy
4,
are
5,
not new.
6, 7,
Tons.
8, 9, 10. That's 10 already. Yeah, there's just a ton.
There's a ton. There's a blackened sustainable fish. There's a pork chop, chicken pot pie soup. Does that not sound like it'd be wonderful on a chilly evening?
The biscuits and gravy sounds intriguing to me. Yeah,
that's not new though. That's been
I guess
there.
that's an old thing, but I
didn't even know it was there.
I didn't know that was there either.
I'm also really intrigued by the barbecue brisket burnt ends pasta. That sounds very delicious.
I don't know if I've ever seen burnt ends with pasta, so that could be interesting.
Yeah, minus the mushrooms. That looks delightful. There's also this. Oh, it's also not new, but it just looks very exciting. Buttermilk fried chicken sandwich with fried cherry peppers, slaw, and a barbecue aioli.
What is this? Okay, so I've moved down.
Hang on. One more thing I want to talk about. There's a non-alcoholic beverage at Riverbell that sounds. I just need to know what it is.
Okay,
it's a Mississippi mud pie, which is created with Sprite, chocolate fudge syrup, and cream, topped with whipped cream and crumbled chocolate cream cookies. So Oreos. The Sprite's what's throwing me off on this.
I agree with you on that one. It might be amazing though, so we'll have to see. So I'm going down to Cafe Orleans, and in the graphic here they have this.
I think that's the potato and sausage soup.
This on the right, the thing that looks like a candle?
You weren't here for that. We covered that this summer. That was a specialty dessert that came out for the Haunted Mansion, premiere release excitement, all that stuff. That is the Haunted Mansion candle dessert, a vanilla chip mousse on a pecan pie cookie with mixed berry.
That looks amazing.
It comes out, there's a candle that they stick in it, and it actually is
okay.
The main part of the what looks like a candle is the dessert, but they put a little birthday candle in it.
I think I may have to put this on their must-do list because this looks amazing.
The actual dessert itself sounds delicious. Just reading it, not looking at the picture, just reading it, it sounds like it'd be delicious, but the presentation is phenomenal.
Yeah. So there's that. There's also some food items that are available through November 9th, like a potato and sausage soup and a creme brulee.
I'm also excited. There's a new beverage.
You are
non-alcoholic. I'm always about the beverages. Bayou Punch, which is Minute Maid lemonade, 0 sugar, orange juice, strawberry puree, blueberry syrup, and an alligator-shaped gummy.
That seems like a lot of different flavors, so it'd be interesting to see how they all come together.
This one, yeah.
And then there is actually something I'm very excited about at Carnation Cafe that sounds interesting that I'd be willing to try. They have a Walt's chili cheese omelet, which is a cheese omelet topped with chili, cheese, and chives, served with breakfast potatoes. Now through November 9th.
There you go.
Only available for breakfast. But that sounds good. There's too many breakfasty things. Although I'm still waiting for those breakfast potatoes to come back one of these days.
Well, while you try that, I'm going to try the orange creamsicle, which is Sprite, candied orange syrup, and cream topped with a candied orange slice.
You're always about the drinks.
All these fun drinks. Yes.
I'm just glad that they're coming up with new stuff all the time. And even in some of these locations that obviously didn't get a refresh or something, have new menu items.
Yeah. Well, the first Oogie Boogie Bash party nights have happened, and we have all the details for this year. Judge Doom is set up in Grizzly Peak Airfield and is a sight to behold. So Grizzly Peak Airfield, for those of you that have Oogie Boogie Bashed before, is where Maleficent used to be set up. When Judge Doom decides to dip an animated shoe, the scene is chilling. It's like the movie come to life.
Oh, yeah.
Yokai is also new this year and located in San Francisco Square. Other Treat Trail characters have relocated this year, including Ernesto de la Cruz, who's in the queue for the Hyperion, and Madame Mim is now where Ernesto was last year in the Bountiful Valley Hideaway, which is just as you're walking into the park and you're going like you're walking to the back of the park. It's just kind of this little.
It's right past Carthay Circle, but before Avengers Campus.
It's like this little. You just hang this tight little left, and you're right there. Minnie, Daisy, and Clarabelle, as the Sanderson sisters, have moved near the Golden Zephyr.
And then there's also one more, which was Lotso.
Oh yes, and Lotso is brand new this year. He is meeting and greeting back on the Pixar Pier area in front of Midway Mania.
So I'm not like you. I like to spoil myself. And I saw a video on Instagram of Judge Doom, and I could not magic spoilers. I could not believe that the person who is friends with this character was not Christopher Lloyd.
Really?
Like, the voice was like almost identical, and I was like,
I don't think I've
what?
seen the same video that you saw.
Oh, and then
I mean, the video I saw, the cast member was great.
And then doing the dip was really cool.
The area is so well themed back there, too.
Yeah, just the whole setup that he is in is really cool. Yokai, I thought the area that he's at with the little nanobots or whatever, that's really well themed. For me, of the two new of the three, I guess, with Lotso as well, the character for me is Judge Doom.
Yeah, I think,
which I did not expect that I was going to like this character as much.
Yeah. No, I think that's the consensus from a lot of people is the underdog like swept and took it. I've also heard a lot of reports, which makes total sense to me, that flip-flopping where Madame Mim and Ernesto de la Cruz also makes a heck of a lot more sense for those two characters, which I agree, because the Bountiful Valley little, I don't know, hideaway thing is it's very tight and it's very intimate, which I think is great for Mim because she's got a smaller stage and it's more about character, like it's like interacting and talking with her, whereas the Hyperion is a much bigger, grander stage
for like a performer.
Yes, for like a performer, and you as the guest can't get up as close to that stage to have like the conversations with the guest. So it's perfect for Ernesto, who's there. And he's, he does I'm not saying he does interact with the guests,
but he's
100%,
performing a lot.
But he's also doing a lot of performing. So I think it makes more sense. And people kind of linger for him because they're waiting for him to sing Remember Me. Whereas Madame Mim, I feel like there's more of a flow with her, since there's not like Agatha. There's more of a
specific moment you're waiting for.
Yeah. So and I guess maybe Agatha wasn't a good one. Sid would be a good one because Sid's just working the crowd the whole time. Agatha, it's fun to kind of linger and wait for the song Agatha All Along to play.
That's true,
because she plays back with that song. So
I also saw that somebody saw Agatha and then later on saw Wanda, and that was a fun like little back and forth there, which was pretty good. So I don't know, I think Oogie Boogie Bash every year is just an amazing event. It's probably the best after hours event that they put on, and it's always enjoyable. I do wish, like with the Sanderson sisters, I wish that they would make those like a treat trail people instead of a meet and greet, because I think that is the ultimate way to see all these characters quickly, is to have them as a interactive treat trail, because you just keep moving.
Nope, I like it too.
I also wish they do something different with Oogie Boogie, because I feel the times we've seen Oogie Boogie, they kind of rush you through so fast that you don't get really a chance.
They don't really let you linger in front of Oogie Boogie. But he makes so much sense to be in the Animation Academy. Because of all, like, seeing all the screens, you feel like you're in his, I don't know, lair. You can see all the different.
I just wish they'd slow, because when we were there, I just wanted to like take him in for a minute, but they're like, keep moving. And so I wish it was less like that.
Might depend on the line too, depending on how backed up the line.
That's true.
If you're there at a crazy busy time versus a slower time.
Well, from September 15th through October 15th, the Disneyland Resort will celebrate Hispanic and Latin American Heritage Month. There will be a lot of food to celebrate, and Disney released the foodie guide for the event. At Disneyland, Rancho del Zocalo, the Frontierland Churro Cart, and Stagework Cafe all have good options. Over in Disney California Adventure, Boardwalk Pizza and Pasta, Casina, Cucamonga Mexican Grill, and Paradise Garden Grill are serving up options. The Grand Californian Great Hall Cart has a ton of sweets, with a lot of locations in downtown Disney also participating. There are so many things listed here. There's also a bunch of stuff in Disney World.
There's tons of things. So Rancho, I feel like, had the biggest, like, more new stuff added, because some of the stuff was kind of already released. Like, for example, over at Boardwalk Pizza and Pasta, they listed the horchata cheesecake, which was released with like the Halloween time foodie guys. So some of this stuff is overlapping, but some of the new stuff that we hadn't already talked about, a lot of it's at Rancho. There's a mole half chicken plate. Yum. There's also, chili verde enchilada plates. There's a guava agua fresca. delicious. There's a cream cheese pretzel with guava dipping sauce. Now I don't remember.
Guava and cheese pretzel. Yeah, at the pretzel cart near the Big Thunder Mountain.
Yep. This is new too. The Stage Door Cafe has a cinnamon chocolate Mexican sweetbread funnel cake.
That looks so good.
It's so cute too because they made it into a little Mickey. I think that's so fun.
Did you have the horchata cold brew?
Yes, I love the horchata cold brew. I want to address this for all of my cold brew fans because they have it listed on the menu for Rancho and it's horchata cold brew and it says that it's new. And I'm a little confused because it is not new. It has been there, but I'm wondering if the ingredients are different and that's why they're saying it's new because it says iced horchata mixed with Cafe de Ola cold brew. So I don't know if there's a brand now in front of the cold brew. So I wonder if that's what makes it different, therefore new. So now I'm kind of curious to retry it because it's been a absolute favorite of mine. So yeah, I'm curious. Also for my cold brew peeps, there is, I think it's in Tomorrowland, which just kind of like quietly came out. It's like a Bananas Foster cold brew.
Ooh.
Yeah. So now I got to try that too. Got to add that to the list. But
so at the Paradise Garden Grill, there is a new Chile Verde chicken flautas that are available.
So yeah, those were, so a lot of
says new.
It says, it does say new.
Yep. Because there's a whole list of stuff here that is on the list that is normally there, which
it's newer.
I do want to try this San Francisco style street corn. And again, you probably talked about this when I was gone this summer because you talked about all the new San Francisco food.
A lot about food.
So that looks good. I like the idea with the Togarashi mayonnaise and all that stuff. Sounds really good on there.
There's a ton of delicious options.
Oh, look at the cute little gingerbread like cookie.
Yeah. The gingerbread Caballera cookie.
The Grand Californian finally has a name for this cart. It's the Great Hall Cart, which I think is good because I feel like I've never seen it called that before. But they always have really good stuff. They have a Mexican wedding cookies. They have a macaron box with assorted macarons, which says new, but again, like you said, they've had it, but maybe they have different types in there this time. Rice Krispie treat dipped in white chocolate. Oh my gosh, there's a whole list of just different cookies and everything. The shots, they have a lot of cookie shots this time. And then a ton of stuff at Downtown Disney, Ballast Point, Beignets Express, Naples. Lots of options.
Tons of fun.
They just need to stop. We don't have enough time for all this food. You literally would have to live down there and go often to be able to try a fraction of this.
Local pass holders, 100%. Because there's no way us that come and visit for short periods can possibly try all of these delicious sounding food options.
Well, the good news is this does spread the people out. Because if you have one key item that everybody's excited about, then there's lines forever.
That's very, very true. Well, this last weekend was the Destination D23 event at Walt Disney World. At this event, there were a number of announcements for Disney parks all around the world. At Disneyland, our announcements included the concept art for the Avengers E-Ticket attraction, including, they were talking specifically about the ride vehicle. And they also announced that new scenes featuring locations from Ashoka will be coming to Star Tours next spring. Sadly, that was the end of the exciting announcements for Disneyland.
Yeah, there was some exciting announcements for other things, but this felt very much like D23 Expo last year, which was, let's talk about, I actually turned it on for a little bit. I saw you were in the Discord chat watching this live and kind of talking with everybody. And so I woke up and I turned it on TV quick because it was on YouTube and I was kind of looking at it. And the 5 minutes I watched were like, now, what are some things we could be doing in the parks? And it was that whole situation again. And I was like, well, they have spent 5 minutes talking about nothing. So I was like, you know what? I'm turning this off.
The other thing, too, that I've noticed is the things that they did talk about, they weren't necessarily very clear about what that meant. Like, right now, the Ashoka, when I heard the Ashoka announcement for Star Tours, they said something generically like, Ashoka will be featured in Star Tours. So it's kind of like, what does that mean?
Yeah.
I'm thinking to myself, they're not replacing C-3PO. Are they replacing the animatronic? Is she going to be the pilot? What does this mean? And then the other thing that was a little sad for me too is there was quite a few things that had been announced at D23 that have now either wrapped up or they're close to wrapping up. So they had like more details. And then it was then being passed off like it was brand new, breaking, exciting news. So like one of the things we were told at D23 last year was that Figment was coming, which he's adorable. I love Figment. So, but we knew from last year, D23, that a meet and greet Figment was coming to Epcot. Well, the big announcement and the big surprise unveiling for the Destination D23 panel or whatever you want to call it was, here he is, so it wasn't quite as exciting because we knew he was coming. Same thing with the Hatbox Ghost. The Hatbox Ghost was announced that figure would be like, we knew nothing about the Hatbox Ghost coming to Walt Disney World until D23 in the fall. This event, they announced the Hatbox Ghost will be coming, and they gave a little like tighter time frame as to he'll be materializing, not an exact date, but kind of like later this fall, or I can't remember what it was. So even the quote unquote big announcements were kind of recycled.
So a couple things. One, I watched a really interesting YouTube video this week about that. What Disney Provost Park Pass? Did you watch that one?
The Provost Park Pass one?
Yeah, because he was talking about what's happened is D23 in the past has always had these big announcements. Mm-hmm. We're building a new land. Star Wars Galaxy's Edge was like announced there. We're building Avengers Campus. We're building all these things, right? All these things are coming. The Disney 100, all these things. And we've gotten used to these big announcements. And then D23 last year and the Destination D23 event this week, we have high expectations of what's going to be announced, and they're trying to like bring it down a few levels, but it's like they set expectations and then they're not meeting them from what we're used to. Yeah.
You and I could maybe do like a separate episode on this, but part of me is wondering, there's one, I don't know if this is post shutdown and pandemic Disney or if this is just how Josh D'Amaro is wanting to do this, but those are the two things that are different with with pre D23 announcements and current D23 announcements. So I'm not quite sure why they're taking this approach.
Yeah.
But it feels weird to me because, for example, something that would have been a perfect thing for them to announce at Destination D23 that they announced just before was the revamp of the Haunted Mansion queue at Disneyland.
Oh, yeah.
But they chose to release that on the Disney Park blog, coupled, a little bit ahead of time for who knows what reason. There's a couple of things on here they could have easily bumped, in my opinion, that this would have been a much more exciting thing for them to announce. So I'm not really certain what's going on. Maybe it'd be fun and interesting for you and I to break down all the different announcements and our thoughts on it, on, something other than this, because we could go on for
that's true
forever.
There are like two things I just want to point out that I'm excited for that they did announce.
So let's see what you're saying on that, because that was a blue sky thing.
Yeah, but they're going to reimagine Dinoland USA Animal Kingdom, and one of the things that they mentioned was Indiana Jones. They already have a dinosaur attraction that's literally the same track layout and everything as our Indiana Jones. So my thought is they're going to turn Dinosaur into Indiana Jones. I think that would be easy.
That'd be the only way, Yeah, I don't
think
they can fit another attraction.
That kind of sounds exciting to me. The other thing that I thought was really neat was I'm excited about Test Track at Epcot being reimagined, because I never rode the original incarnation of this attraction because you were like a test dummy like on the attraction, and I thought that was a neat aspect. And then they like re-themed it to be this like design thing, and it wasn't that exciting to me. This looks like it's kind of going back to that kind of like original thing, but also they're working in the original World of Motion, which was at this location in Disney World back in the day. So I think it's going to be I think they're doing a good job trying to combine a bunch of things. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I'm kind of excited about a couple of these things. Unfortunately, I'm not really that excited about the stuff coming to Disneyland. Also, can you explain something quick? I know we're like off topic and maybe we end up cutting this, but what was the deal? So there was like a lot of Muppet action, but nothing Muppet was announced.
So I don't know. So it's a big anniversary. There's a big anniversary coming up for the Muppets. Now I feel like a terrible person. I don't remember. 50th, maybe? The Muppets 50th?
That sounds like it could be right.
So that's why there was a lot of Muppets. So because of all the Muppet stuff, a lot of people, myself included, thought that there was going to be some big Muppets Park synergy announcement. and it never happened. Provost Park Pass, I think, was trying to say that the Muppet tie-in was the end with Figment, because the gentleman that they had come out, that I don't remember his name off, that Dave, he's worked for Henson Studios for like 40 years, but he's also the current voice of Figment in the attraction, also voice of Gonzo. So Provost Park Pass was feeling like the Muppets tie-in was for the Figment thing. I don't know if that's really what it was.
Because I think it confused a lot of people, because people thought they were going to be like an announcement of a ride or a land or something.
I was also confused because they start, like, the pre-show to it was very Hercules heavy. They did like three Hercules songs that they performed back to back to back. So I was thinking, ooh, are they going to announce that Hercules coming to the Hyperion, or like, is there going to be a Hercules specific announcement? And then no, there was just Hercules stuff.
Disney keeps doing this stuff, because remember at D23 they kept talking about like the future and tomorrow. We thought Tomorrowland was coming and it wasn't. Yeah. Okay. Anyway. Okay, cool. Thank you for explaining that. Mm-hmm. Well, more new characters have landed in Star Wars Galaxy's Edge and Disneyland. By the way, these were announced at the Destination D23 event, and then it happened. Hera and Chopper, characters from Ahsoka and Star Wars Rebels, are now wandering the land greeting visitors. The duo travel together when they're out for guests and are only here for a limited time.
Dang, really only limited time? I don't know. I guess you can't have too many residents in Galaxy's Edge, but I'm loving the synergy.
We keep talking about other Disney creators, but on David's Fresh Baked thing about construction, he talked about these characters, and he went on a rant for a bit about how we should be thankful that they are bringing more characters to Galaxy, because they were 100%. Promised when the land was announced, we were promised the characters would be roaming around, and we have that now.
Yeah.
I just wish that they would have more of them roaming around at once, because what ends up happening is people like Hera and Chopper, and it's only for a limited time, Hera and Chopper come out,
there's just mass.
They get surrounded.
They get swarmed.
That happened with Mando. That's how we found out that Mando was out, was you're like, what's this group about? When we were there in August.
Same thing with Ahsoka.
We were sitting down eating our Ronto wraps, and Boba Fett came up to our table. He was not surrounded by a bunch of people, but we were sitting right by where he comes out. So nobody had seen him, and so he wandered over to us and was just talking to us at our table. Yeah. And we got a photo and stuff with him. But then shortly thereafter, there was a mass of people. So I think if they had more of these characters out at one time, it would kind of disperse everybody, and it would feel more natural, which I think Imagineering wants to go for. I will say it's cool that Chopper's in the park now. That wasn't just the Star Wars night, because remember we were having trouble seeing Chopper for Star Wars night. Yeah. And Hera looks amazing.
Yeah. No, I think this is really fun. Really, really fun. Well, a new souvenir glass has come to the resort, and this is one not to be missed. At Carthay Circle Restaurant, guests can pick up the Spooky Tree flight mugs for $89. Yes, that sounds steep. Let us explain. It includes an Appletini cocktail. I think different apple. It's a flight of Appletini, so there's 3 different types. But the mug looks like this is crazy to me. It's 3 little mugs that look like poison apples atop a scary tree like base holder thing from Snow White. It is the coolest thing. There, I believe there's 3. I think there's
there's one in the back too.
There's a red poison apple, a green poison apple, and the other color's a red poison apple. But the spooky tree's like holding them, and it's so cool looking.
It does look really cool. Like, I feel like this should be for sale at like the Disney Home Store or something. Yeah. Like, it's so neat and it's so detailed. I don't have $89 to spend on this, but man, I wish I did, because
super cool looking.
I'd put this on a shelf. I don't know. It's very cool.
And like I said, it's a flight, so you get 3 small Appletini drinks.
It is one of the coolest things I've seen them come out with recently.
I guess we don't know 100%. I would assume that the 3 drinks are slightly different, so I don't know for certain. I haven't seen any reports on that. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that they're 3.
I see what you did there.
that was pretty bad. I didn't even mean to do that, but
that good.
Or bad, however you want to say it. But yeah, I would say that's probably 3 different variations on an Appletini.
If you're a Club 33 or 1901 member, you can also get a version of this in a different glaze. Mm-hmm. So there's also that. Magic key holders may be getting a check from Disney for a lawsuit that was just settled. Key holders who purchased the Dream Key way back at the beginning of the Magic Key program will be getting $67.41. No form is needed to be completed to get the amount. They have you on record. They will send you the money.
We do have a link in the show notes. Mice Chat had a good article that kind of broke down the details of it, and they also explain, if you were somebody that was impacted, what you need to do or what you don't need to do. They kind of explain it further, but it has been settled because it was something like you could opt out maybe of receiving the settlement, but there were other things you could do if you chose to. But yeah, so more details in the Mice Chat article.
The one interesting thing the Mice Chat did come up with from this amount is because the settlement was, they have a lump sum that like they pay out, and then they divided by the amount of people that could get it, and that's what they came up with the $67.41, and that's been publicized that like that is the amount. Yeah. So what Mice Chat did was they divided that 67 or the big amount by 60 and found out that about 107,736 people purchased Dream Keys, which gives us an actual number for once, because like we never have any numbers to know. So they say if there are 1 million people who have Magic Keys, which is widely accepted estimate, we now know that about 10% purchase the highest level. So we can infer from that about the same number of people probably have the high-end Inspire Key, which is crazy to me. 107,000 people had the highest end thing. That's nuts to me.
Oh, right here. So there is no paperwork to be filled out, but you will be contacted by a third-party company with details on how to receive your payment. You only need to take action if you want to exclude yourself from the settlement or if you want to object. So that would be the only extra work, is if you want to do one of those two last things. Well, speaking of Magic Key holders, make sure you all make it a habit to check the Magic Key portal inside the Disneyland mobile app. Currently, there is a promotion that Magic Key holders can receive a complimentary Magic Key themed Magic Band Plus with any purchase at select Disneyland Resort locations. The locations are listed in the portal, and there's no minimum purchase price to get the Magic Band Plus. There was a loophole when they first... This came out a week, maybe almost 2 weeks ago is when this first started.
Yeah.
I saw news of it. I decided, let's not even put it out there, because these are going to get eaten up so fast. By the time the episode goes live, they're going to be gone. Well, it's been a week and a half, maybe close to 2 weeks now, and they're restocking daily. So they do have a limited supply out during the daytime, but it seems like they are restocking every morning again. So that's awesome. There was a loophole. I think I saw reports that they've now closed it, that people were buying things like the reusable shopping bag for like $1 and getting their free Magic Band. I did see reports that you no longer are able to purchase like the reusable shopping bag to get it. It has to be like a bottle of water or something. So, but still, what's a Magic Band? Like $35?
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean,
I was just reading the fine
even if
print.
you bought like a pin or something.
I was reading the fine print here. So locations, there's 3 locations in Disneyland. There's Tomorrow Landing in Tomorrowland, Emporium, and Westward Ho Trading Company. At DCA, there's Elias & Company, Trolley Treats, Radiator Springs Curios, and Seaside Souvenirs. Downtown Disney at the Pin Traders and World of Disney. The Grand Californian at the Acorn Gifts and Goods. At the Disneyland Hotel at the Fantasia Shop, and the Paradise Pier Hotel at the Hotel Gift Shop.
Look at that. You don't even have to be in the park to get it.
So, while supplies last, availability may vary. Available for Magic Key holders. Valid Magic Key pass must be presented, and government-issued photo ID may be required. 1 Magic Key-themed Disneyland Magic Band Plus per completed purchase transaction while supplies last. Exclusions apply, but not limited to the purchase of tickets, passes, or Disney gift cards, or any purchases from vending machines, including without limitation fuel rods and pressed pennies. Complimentary Magic Band Plus gift must be returned if any of the retail items from the qualifying purchase are returned. Valid only for Magic Band, the specific one, and only while supplies last. No substitutions or gifts. Not valid on previous purchases. Blah, blah, blah. So I think what this is, and I'm sure you're not going to be surprised when I say this, is they have a bunch of these. They're Magic Key. They're Magic Key holder specific. So, and they're only going to be sold or given to Magic Key holders. So my thought is a bunch of Magic Key holders haven't been using the Magic Bands.
No, I think there hasn't been as big of buy-in for Magic Bands as Disney first anticipated. Or
hoped.
They're like you're a Magic Key holder that owns... I'm joking. He actually doesn't. Owns like every other band under the sun that isn't the Magic Key specific one, because you've just gravitated towards other designs because there's too many designs to choose from right now. So these specific ones haven't been as popular, whether whatever the case may be. So I think it's a smart way because, I mean, look at me. I would 100% get me a free magic key holder, magic band to try it out. I'm not sold on it yet. So I don't feel like making the $35, $40, $45 investment because to me, it's not doing enough just yet. I do know, hopefully, that as time goes on, they will make it better and it will be able to do more things. But currently, right now, it's not quote unquote worth it to me. But if I get one for no cost, I'll try it out.
The two things at Disneyland that I found are amazing with it is entering the park. I don't have to have my phone out. They scan my watch or my magic band, or photo pass. Because again, I don't have to like fumble through to get the barcode up, and they don't have to like tell me to turn the brightness all the way up and all that. You
know what I'm excited about is when the day comes that I can use a magic band to like say that I'm a magic key holder. So like when you're purchasing stuff, that'd be a nice thing to not have to pull your pass up.
I look forward to the day when I don't have to bring my wallet at all, and I can pay and everything through my magic band.
There you go.
Pilots, we've detected some producer questions near Jakku. Report to your DLWeekly vessels and make the jump to hyperspace. The 7-7 Squadron will provide support during your trivia mission. Good luck, and may the Force be with you.
Hello, welcome to Trivia Land. Hello, how are you?
I feel like you're like, is this thing on? Boom, boom, boom.
Some days it just feels like that, right?
I think we're okay. I don't know. We'll see. We didn't do well last week at all.
We never know what we're getting into in Trivia Land. It's jungle out there.
It's true. It is a jungle. And sometimes the jungle plays tricks on us. So I owe a bit of an apology for 2 weeks ago when we were talking about Haunted Mansion, when you were ready to start singing Hairspray Good Morning Baltimore. Because I don't know where I got multitasking and was looking at the Evergreen House over in North Carolina, but it's the Shipley Lydecker house in Baltimore, Maryland that inspired it. A little extra reading. Imagineer Ken Anderson stumbled on it in a book about old Victorian houses, and that's part of the history of how they founded for the inspiration. So
there we go. The more you know.
Exactly. Sometimes just takes a little bit of extra poking and prodding to get it just right.
Well, and two, sometimes I feel like it's very difficult with the Haunted Mansion, especially because there's a lot of stuff out there. So it's sometimes hard to know what. Well, you all know the story about Vern and I were in South Carolina, and we were told by a tour guide that there was a house there that inspired the Haunted Mansion. And man, I tell you, it was very, very similar, but so we believed it. I took a photo in front of it. Guess what? Nope, not true. Not true whatsoever. So sometimes it's kind of hard to kind of sift through. So
it's true. And, it's never going to be just one place that was the key thing. So even though there's this house that you look at a picture, it's like, oh, wow, that is definitely the Haunted Mansion.
Very true. Now I think we need a DL Weekly field trip.
Oh, geez. Like we're not doing enough driving around.
Nope, never.
Just ideas for the future, right?
Sure.
All right. Well, let's look at the present. I've got 4 questions for you this week, and I hope you're ready. I believe in you both.
I'm glad someone does.
Yeah. That's what I was just thinking about. I was trying to keep my mouth closed this time.
So the first question, I want to know, what defunct aquatic attraction allowed guests to pilot their own vessels around a trackless lagoon?
Oh,
was that the Phantom boats?
Yes, Phantom.
Yeah, the Phantom boats.
Phantom boats. Very good. Question number 2. Speaking of lagoons, before it became Finding Nemo's submarine adventure, at least one other IP was considered for the refurbishment. Can you tell me what movie they were looking at doing?
I know this one. When I say it, you're going to smack yourself even harder.
I know I'm going to because I know it, but I can't.
Atlantis, The Lost Empire.
Yes.
But that movie didn't do well at the box office, so they were like, nope, not doing that one.
All I could think, which was similar, but
Treasure
not
Planet?
at all. No.
Oh, because that's what my first
thought was.
All
I could think was how Splash Mountain was who is it? Eisner wanted to be themed on the movie Splash which was like
a live action,
a mermaid thing.
Yeah.
That like all I could think of was that movie. I'm like, no, that was the Splash Mountain thing. That's not the right. Hey, let's do this instead.
Yeah.
Thought process. Yes, Atlantis. Atlantis would have actually been really cool.
Yeah.
I know it wasn't as much of a success at the box office as they had hoped, but come on, you would have been exploring the lost world of Atlantis in your submarine. That makes total sense.
I think I've seen the movie Atlantis.
What?
I don't know why this should be a surprise to you. I haven't seen a lot of Disney movies.
I know, but it's
You're
still,
always so surprised.
I think it's because James and I think, certainly now you've seen them because we've been giving you.
I'm just excited because October 8th, I finally get to see the Haunted Mansion when it comes to Disney Plus.
Oh, you haven't seen
We've gone over this before. I was in Europe when it happened.
I thought that you'd seen it since then.
Nope.
Oh man,
it was nowhere to be found.
Did you miss The Little Mermaid too? Then
no, I saw Little Mermaid. I missed Indiana Jones and the Haunted Mansion.
Okay.
I saw Oppenheimer.
Oh man, I can't wait for you to see the Haunted Mansion.
That makes sense why you didn't recognize any of the Atlantis stuff in Wondrous then.
Because I think
it's also Treasure Planet.
Yeah,
too,
Treasure Planet and Atlantis were both in that same kind of time, and I did see Treasure Planet only because I worked at the movie theater when it came out. But I don't know. I couldn't tell you anything about it, to be honest.
Like, I watched Atlantis on repeat. I really, really enjoyed that movie.
Is that the one with Michael J. Fox is the voice? Yep. Okay.
Milo.
Yeah.
And Kida. Princess Kida. We puppy sit a dog whose name is Kida. I haven't asked if it's intentionally.
Is it Atlantis or is it Treasure Planet that has like the blob thing, like the pink
Treasure Planet.
blob? Okay, because I for some reason have a plush of that character, and I don't know why. Anyway, sorry, James. I didn't mean to take us out of Trivia Land into movie history land.
I love these tangents. This is the joy of the podcast.
Oh, good. We have that on audio, so when we go on tangents in the future, I could be like, James, you said on episode 303.
I love tangents before 9:30 at night when I'm ready for bed.
Sure.
That's fair.
All right, moving on. Question 3. Imagineers created their own color to paint things guests aren't supposed to see, or at least to try to disappear in the background. What is the name of the color?
Go away green.
Go away green.
Just the best name. Go away green.
All right, and I got one more last question for you. Who is the voice of G242, the security droid for Star Tours The Adventure Continues?
Is that the... Wait.
It's not the one that's checking your luggage. That's the one that's up by the heat scanner.
Oh, is it Patrick Warburton? Because it sounds just like Patrick, chief flight attendant. Like, it sounds just like, hey. Because are you talking about like where it's doing your heat signature?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I always laugh at that because he's always like, what are you doing there? I think, it sounds like him.
I don't know.
But my favorite droid is the one that James, you said was not the right one where he's checking the luggage because it's like on the last trip we were stuck in the line there and it like did the x-ray of the bag and it was a bunch of blasters and he's like, man, somebody likes a lot of hair dryers. And I was like, this is the worst security droid ever.
Oh, yeah, they're terrible. I don't know. The only voice actor that I can think with Star Tours is Paul Rubens. He was Rex.
Yeah, DJ Rex.
Rex had been removed. Yes, he has now become a DJ. But that's the only voice. I'm going to say Paul Rubens just because, like, as a throwback.
It's totally not Paul Rubens.
I don't have any guesses.
Sure.
So that's my random.
Okay.
I'm just going to put it out there.
Sure.
One random guess. We'll see. Is it the talents of Paul Rubens, Patrick Warburton, someone else? Who knows? Well, I do. We'll find out in a little bit after our discussion topic.
Well, back again with us this week is Eric, and we are going to kind of transition. And this is kind of where we're going to talk about how you went from your Imagineering work into more of your current art and painting work that you do today. So how did that transition happen? It sounds like you were kind of, doing artwork and stuff for Imagineering, but how did that transition to doing art more for you?
Yeah, so this is a funny statement, but I entered Disney as a designer and I left there as a painter.
Yeah.
They made me a painter and they found in me what my life's destiny was supposed to be. I never would have guessed in a million years that I would be a Disney artist. and a Disney painter of Mickey Mouse and all the characters and all the attractions. And that became what my identity was outside of Imagineering. And the Disney Gallery, through Marty's discovery of me, started to sell my impressions of characters, which were like this, very modern and very splashy and off model. So that became super popular. And so I became Eric Robison, Disney artist of the gallery. And it was a thrilling decade. It was just 10 years of just amazing sellout shows. And it became my living. And so I left Imagineering because it was going so strong. Marty said to me, Eric, go out and paint with Godspeed. And go be famous. God, that's the coolest dude. Thanks for saying that. Anyway, so that's what my goal. I just went out into the world and started being the Disney artist guy, right? And so Disney was calling me 3-4 times a year. And every time a film came out or a new attraction opened, Eric, paint this for us. We're going to make lithographs, popcorn buckets, mugs, hats, the whole deal. So everybody was happy. Everybody was making money. And it was that was my new career now, to be a Disney artist rather than just an Imagineer. All the while working for Imagineering as a consultant as well. I still kept working for them. So fast forward, I became a painter and got better at painting. And Universal Studios called me, Warner Brothers, everybody wanted my renderings. Just like a lot of other super talented illustrators out there that did, but there was a huge demand. So I was getting a lot of work, and that mileage makes you better at painting. The more you do anything, right? The more you practice, the better you get. So I became pretty well known in that arena. And then I started getting looser and looser with my style. And I don't know why that happened. I don't know if it's lazy or if I had to go faster. So I just did things looser. But something inside me slowly deteriorated away from that school-taught tight look of art I had learned, which was industrial design. So I became super finger painted and sticks and all kind of jazz. And so they asked me to do the 100 Mickeys. I did that. It took a year to do. And then after that, other subjects started entering into my life, like sailboats and waves and palm trees and Hawaii scapes and things like that. And it started to feel good to paint non-Disney things too. And now that's what I do here in Hawaii. Is I have a gallery in Waikiki called Island Art Galleries that represents my work in predominantly big, splashy, finger-painted, colorful wave scenes, some kind of quirky stuff too. But I mean, it's mostly Hawaiian subject or paddleboarding, surfing, things like that. The cliche kind of Hawaii stuff. But that's what sells here. And then in Copenhagen, Denmark, I'm being represented by Disneyana Plus, and they're representing me for Europe Disney work. So I'm doing a ton of work for them. I'm going over there in November for a big convention. And I did about 30 pieces for them of Mickey Mouse, Donald Duck, Goofy, a bunch of stuff. So there's a ton of stuff. It's going to be all over Facebook. You'll see it, I suppose. So I kind of evolved without wanting to or trying to. Life just took me in this direction that I never really asked for. But I'm super glad. I found it, right? But never guessed this is what I was going to do in my life. So strange, huh?
That's wild.
Life just takes you places sometimes.
It does.
Now, going from Imagineering, how did Marty Sklar figure out that you were such a good and talented artist and not just like a technical person?
Yeah, that's the second largest embarrassing career moment I ever had.
We're just putting it all out there, apparently.
Right. So anyway, at lunch every day at Imagineering, I was goofing around with characters. I was doing pastel sketches of Bambi and Dumbo, and I was learning some other mediums because I never learned pastels before and markers in this particular vein, graphite scratches, and so I was doing all these kind of different looking Mickey Mouses instead of yellow shoes, green, and blue ears, and just screwing around, and making it fun to look at because everything was kind of, for me, I don't want to say boring, but every time you saw Mickey and all the characters, it's the exact same thing in every.
Yep.
I mean, doesn't anybody have fun with these guys? So anyway, so I just did it for my own fun, and people were walking through my office going, "Eric, you should sell these to consumer products." So I said, "Hey, good idea." So gathered them up. Every day at lunch, I would go to a different division of Disney. When consumer products, they said, "No, this is too crazy. We can't put that on children's clothes and things like that." Why not? But they didn't. So I went over to the studio and they snubbed me really bad. Oh, you're from Imagineering, just go back.
Oh, jeez.
They didn't even care.
Yeah.
But the look on this guy's face was like, I could tell he thought they were good, but he didn't want to say it. It was one of those weird jealousy. Artists get jealous sometimes of each other, right?
Sure. Yeah.
So anyway, I was like, okay, this guy's probably going to copy me now. Anyway, I left there and I went to one other department. They didn't even look at me and never called me.
Dang.
So I had this great idea. I'm going to show these to Marty because, I mean, maybe Imagineering could do something with them. So I call up Marty's secretary. I said, hey, I've got like 8 paintings I want to put in Marty's office. So in the morning when he gets in, he's going to go, wow, these are beautiful. Who did this? And so he said, okay, I'll let you know when he leaves. You can come on down and put them in. I'll open the door for you. So we put him on his chair, on his desk, all around the walls. Goofy and Donald and Mickey and all this stuff. Super colorful, splashy work. And then she locked the door. And I went to bed that night thinking, man, tomorrow I'm going to be a pretty happy guy. You wait till he sees how great these are, right? Super confident because I thought they were really cool looking.
Yeah.
And I get to work and my phone message thing is blinking. And it's the secretary of Marty. She goes, get down here right now. Take your paintings out of here before he fires you. He's really upset.
Oh, wow.
I can't believe it. I went, oh my God. So I started shaking. And I go down there with my tail between my legs. His door's open. He's in there in his chair with his head down, writing, So they're all stacked up in the corner like somebody swept them up and threw them away.
Oh, no.
So I'm taking them out like one by one. I'm almost done taking them out. And he doesn't even lift his eyes up. He goes, Eric, don't ever do that again. But since you did, what are these beautiful things? And I was like, I mean, what? He goes, I hate the way you did this, but I love those pieces. And I what are they? I said, well, so I just told him, my passion for wanting to make them look different. And he goes, okay, these are fabulous. I'm going to try to get you in the Disney gallery. Let me make a call to Peggy Ferris and Van Romans. Right there in front of me, calls them. They come over, they said, oh my God, these are beautiful, Marty. And then all of a sudden, Marty is super proud of me. And very aren't they great? Isn't Eric great? And I was like, God, this is so fucking cool, man. So again, another horrible moment turned into a blessing. And 2 weeks later, I was selling out in the gallery. There was a line all the way down to the Adventureland Jungle Boat Cruise, and it was for me. And I was like, what the hell? This life is kicking my butt, but it's fun, And that's how I got in the gallery. That's what happened.
That's wild.
What a roller coaster. You were like all excited the night before, and then you thought you were in trouble and going to get fired, and then it went back up again.
Yeah, I know. It's like you're living, you're dying. You're living, you're dying. Your blood pressure never gets a break,
Yeah, no kidding. Wow.
But,
wow.
I have a question, unless you have something really good.
No, go ahead.
Okay. So I wrote this down a little bit earlier. So we've talked to some folks before about like how particular we talked with another Disney animator person who does stuff for the parks, and Disney is very protective in particular about what their characters, how they're represented, what they look like, and whatever. So how hard is it painting such iconic characters, especially in such your kind of unique way that is so different than how these characters are usually portrayed? You just said it a minute ago, like you use different colors and different styles.
Yeah, for me, it's easy for me because I've got the permission, not written permission, but I have this kind of, everybody expects that from me now. You can look behind me, that Mickey, he's got one yellow eye, one blue. He's got one turquoise button. I just can't do it normal anymore because it's too fun that's the fun of the job, is to make it my way, my feelings inside me putting onto paper and canvas. So to answer your question, I think there's a lot of people that didn't know they were allowed to for a long time to do that. But I opened up the store in 1989, and now look around, look at all these galleries. Everyone's trying to do that. So I'd like to think I was a pioneer in that version of these characters.
Yeah.
So I didn't. The thing that I learned from Tim Delaney is don't ask permission, do it anyway, and apologize later. And I learned that my first week at Discoveryland on that team, because he used to do that. And so I kind of subconsciously, I guess I still do that, because if you ask permission and they say no, then you never got to A, experience the thing that you wanted to do, and B, maybe the world missed out on something really cool that it could have had, right?
Right.
So
right.
when I was teaching college, I used to say, hey, don't ask me permission to do something. Just do it and put it on the wall. Because, that's silly. You just limited yourself without even trying something. It's so yeah, my answer is, don't ask if you can do it.
Try it out and see what happens.
Yeah.
Well, and that kind of, how does that, I had a question with that, because your style is so, it's just fun. Like, it's just so bright and fun and colorful. And that what I love is you've got the familiarity of the characters, but they're different because they're not the cookie cutter versions that we're used to. So as an artist, and I guess the 100 Mickeys would be a great example, because you had to crank out 100 paintings of Mickey Mouse. How challenging is it for you, or how does your creative process work when you're trying to kind of explore these characters in different ways? Because your paintings are just so fun but they're all just so different and so unique. So it's amazing to me that you can keep coming up with different things.
Yeah, the first 35 or so were pretty easy, because I was super enthusiastic, super ready to go. I had the whole project in front of me. So the world was my oyster. And Tony Garrison, God bless him, head of merch at Disneyland, did not limit me in any way. He says, I don't care what size they are. I don't care if they're on napkins, papers, I don't care. Any medium, just do 100 Mickeys. And so that's such a dream. God, that's such a dream assignment for any artist. You kidding me? Someone's going to pay you to do 100 things any way you want to. So the first 30% of this job was not hard. But then, like you said, if you want something to look fun, it's got to be fun to do, or it doesn't look fun. Believe me, because when someone gives me an assignment that I don't like, it doesn't look that good. But if you let me do whatever I want, it's going to be really good. So the middle section was a little harder, and then I got to number 70, and so I said, okay, I'm going to start experimenting, because I really want every single one of these to have a personality of their own. Yeah. So I used some dinner forks for one, and I painted with the dinner fork. And then I used a bamboo stick from the garden, and some coffee was another one. Coffee and tea together. I just poured it on, and and what's strange is I thought that was one of my weakest ones, and somebody says their favorite one. It's the most fine art, advanced. I was like, what? No way. Anyway, I'll take it. So then I got down to 98, and Photoshop was invented. And so I said, I should do one that's a Photoshop. And so I did one, and that's number 100 or 99, I forgot. And so what I did was I painted, and I scanned them in, and I tweaked them with the Photoshop, because I wanted every medium to be represented. But here's what people know. I actually did 101 Mickeys, and I gave the 101th Mickey to Roy Disney. And he had that before he passed away. So
That's so cool.
I got to go up to lunch with him, and that was pretty fun. So, yeah, that's the Mickey story.
I'm looking on your website at the 100 Mickeys, and yeah, I can definitely see like some of these just looking like in like around the middle-ish time. I'm like, oh, I can see where like maybe they come off a little darker, kind of like, oh, here I go again, kind of a thing, maybe.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
But they're so different.
Also, my brother passed away that year, right in the middle of that project. And so that affected me in a huge way. I wasn't depressed, but I was certainly sad. And there's one called Walking in the Clouds. And pretty sad. But yeah. So, I mean, hard year for me because I had to do this huge assignment. I was going through some personal stuff that was pretty tough. So
and I would think, Mickey Mouse is this, beacon of happiness. So to be going through a rough point in your life and having to keep, creating this very happy, iconic character. Yeah, that would be. Yeah,
that happened. And I broke my ankle playing volleyball in the Caribbean.
Oh,
and all this stuff happened to me. It was a rough year.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, because I'm just scrolling through, and like on your website, you got one that's labeled 016, which is like my interpretation of it is it's black and white, and it's kind of like water dripping down. It almost looks like a stormy rain, but like kind of like a sad, depressed, like you can see it kind of in Mickey's eyes even. Yeah. And I was like, ooh, and then there's a more colorful one, but also has that same kind of like dripping, which kind of feels kind of gloomy.
Yeah.
So this might be like asking who your favorite child is. Do you have a favorite Mickey?
Yeah, I do have a favorite. It's called Mouse Emotion. I painted the front of him, the side of him, this side of him. I painted all the orthographic projections of him in one view. So when you look at him, it's an abstract version. When you look at him, you actually see about 4, 5, 6 Mickeys in the painting, but they're embedded and overlapped into. I can show you if I find the book here.
Is it somewhere on your website? Is it one of the, or is it a different?
Let me see if let me see.
Because we could post it in our show notes for the episode. Oh, is it this one?
I think we found him.
Oh,
does he have kind of like a blue background?
Like a dark blue.
Colored.
Here, hold on a second. I will show you. The one here on the right.
No, that's called Washing Machine Mickey.
Washing Machine.
You know what? You know why it's called that?
Why?
Not because of what my friend actually bought that, but you can see the side view and the front view. That's painted on a washing machine box that my washing machine came in.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, cardboard box.
That's amazing.
I'm just scrolling through quick, seeing if I can find what you're.
You see that red one?
That's
that's my wife's favorite. It was in our house before this project, and she didn't want to give it away. But
that's awesome.
Yeah, so like this one here, number 66, is also kind of dark.
Yeah, it is dark. Some of these were painted over paintings already.
Oh.
So that was a jungle painting or something. So there's peanut butter and chocolate. That one.
This one?
Peanut butter and chocolate. Yeah.
That's fun.
Wow. This one's crazy too.
That was one of my favorites.
That one's cool.
But I changed. But that's for me, as a painting goes, I was really proud of that because it's subliminal but elegant in some way. Mm-hmm. Very modern. I liked it.
For people listening and looking at this on the website, it's number 76 that we're talking about here. This one here, number 79, reminds me of the photo that was like was it like a comic after Walt passed?
Oh,
yeah, it was French.
Yeah.
In France, yeah. Look, stop for a sec. You see the rose one?
Yeah.
That was my wife's anniversary card without Mickey in it. It was just the rose garden. And I painted her name out and painted Mickey over it because I was running out of ideas.
Yeah.
So that's what that is.
Hey, it works. It works really well.
That's one's
so cool.
Number 80. This one's kind of got like a weird thing going on too.
I love the different versions that are kind of like inversions.
That's the spider one. That's the fork.
Oh, here?
That was the fourth one you did?
That's the dinner fork.
Oh, the fork. That's right, the dinner fork one.
Oh, yeah, you can see it. Now that you say that, I can see it. Yeah.
Fun to see these again.
I love the color in 95.
That one's fun, too. The one on the right.
This one? Number 15.
It's just so incredible to me that
I guess you
Just gonna
there's
fly back
this
to
many
the top.
different versions. Ooh, we're gonna get Disney
Flying
here.
back to the top here because I'm trying to see if we can. I love this one because I love like blue and purple, and like that's really sticking out there. Number 54.
That's the one that was in the bank, that clean one. See the on the left?
This one?
Yeah, that's a lot
That
of people's favorite because it's very traditional, like,
Sure.
but not me. I like the crazy stuff.
Yeah.
I like you have a few of these kind of like I don't know
Almost like
what
dots
the
or something.
yeah
Mhm.
like I'm not sure what
Dots
the
or
style
dashes.
is. There seems to be a story. I see these like circles in this one, number 63.
Those are coasters from Disneyland.
Oh.
And I painted over the coasters.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Dang.
See, I'm glad I
I like
asked.
the texture on that.
That's my
One,
kids'
the-
crayons, Crayolas.
This one.
Yeah, that's my kids' crayons.
Oh, jeez.
That's just wild.
Yeah, this is the one that I was
Yeah.
talking about, like the dripping.
Oh, so it must not be on the website.
Yeah, not in this section anyway.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah.
I'll email it to you.
Okay.
Okay.
There's so many cool ones.
You have such great artwork. Like, is there? We'll put a link in the notes too. Is there
Of course.
somewhere that people can buy these 100 Mickeys, or are they out of print? Or
Well, if you go to, I know you can buy them. What's that printing thing called?
Oh, like the printing thing that they have in the parks.
the print on
Yeah, that's
demand? Yeah.
The
yeah,
print
that-
on the yep.
100 Mickeys. That was invented. 400 Mickeys.
Oh,
Disney
Really?
Gallery is the very first people in the world to have print on demand. Right there at the 100 Mickey show. That's what they
wow.
take a print right that day. So now that's in California
That's
Adventure
cool.
has it in their animation
Yeah.
store in Florida. They have it in some of the stores in the parks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
I know they have it in Wonderground too, because they
Yeah.
have like a little kiosk. I kind of wish Disney would do more stuff like that because
It's so cool.
when it first came out, this is when I want to say this is when the gallery moved from above Pirates to Main Street. That they had the print on demand. So I love the attraction posters. And so I bought a couple print on demand attraction posters. And then also they used to have the music on demand. Like they'd make a CD.
Oh yeah.
Like you could pick tracks. And they don't have that anymore. But like that was really cool to get because it's really hard to get that.
I know.
Even now with the internet.
I'm just like you. I used to collect the attraction posters. In fact, I have the big, very original poster from the submarines, that purple and green, mint green.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
It's like 8 feet. It's in my garage on the wall. I got that from the printer that printed it. So it was pretty cool.
Wow.
Wow.
Okay, so I got a random question for you. If Disney came to you and said, we'd like you to paint an attraction poster for us,
Ooh.
what attraction would you like to paint for an attraction poster?
Oh, that was a great question. I love to do underwater stuff. I love to do jungle stuff. I know their posters are very stylized, and I don't know if they would ask me to do it in that way. But if it was just,
But if you could just do it however you wanted.
you know what, Matterhorn,
Oh, really?
Ooh.
That's a cool answer.
because I painted the Matterhorn for a Herb Ryman tribute show at the Disney Gallery, and that painting was one of the best I think I've ever done in my life, and I love
wow.
the attraction poster. So yeah, that's my answer is Matterhorn or the Haunted Mansion, for sure. The Haunted Mansion, yeah.
I also was looking at your website, by the way, we're going to link in the show notes.
Just yeah.
Has so much awesome artwork on there, and I have never seen these Disney Decades pieces.
Yeah, it was kind of a secret. It wasn't done well, the promotion, and so nobody knows about it. But it's really intense work. You know,
They're incredible.
montage of every decade
Hmm.
at Disney. That was a lot of work, and it just didn't get any exposure because it was eclipsed by other things. The show wasn't well done. The venue that they did it at was not well done at all. It wasn't organized well. People weren't happy. My dad and I had to eat our dinner on a trash can because there was no seats for us.
Oh, no.
And it wasn't done. I mean, sometimes back in the heyday of those events, they were getting bigger and bigger, you know, and more tickets sold, and then it just kind of fizzled out. They don't even do them anymore, do they? Do they do events still?
I don't think so.
I don't
Not
think
really.
so.
Yeah. Well,
Not like that.
But this one that you did that was 1955 to 1964-65, there is so much in this one picture.
Yeah.
I would buy this whole set. Like, they're amazing looking. And you've got them on your website in the sketch form, but then also in the like fully color painted form.
Yeah, you can
and they're beautiful in both.
You can they were sold. There was a sketch envelope this big. You could buy all the decades. And the sketch was a black envelope, and you could also do a colored all the paintings. They printed out both of them.
Oh, that's neat.
Wow.
That's super neat. So we talked about the 100 Mickeys, but you also did 50 Donalds. Was there a favorite between the two projects? Did you have more fun with Mickey or more fun with Donald?
More fun with Mickey. More fun with Mickey.
Yeah?
Yeah. Because I painted the 50 Donalds in a loft in the middle of Monterey Park, California. So it wasn't, I painted all the Mickeys at my house in my garage studio. And it was all cozy and my little, how do you say, treehouse kind of feeling, right?
Yeah.
But Donald, I was in a gigantic loft. It was very cold. And it wasn't the same feeling, just wasn't the same feeling. I like paintings a lot, but where I painted them didn't give me the same vibe,
Yep. Makes sense.
Well, here's a picture for you, Teresa. Teresa's favorite attraction is the Haunted Mansion.
Yes.
And I found this one that you painted that looks gorgeous.
They're amazing. During the mouse meet, I walked back and saw you sketching the Haunted Mansion. I was just mesmerized watching you sketch. That was so cool.
Yeah.
He was in Europe, so he didn't get to come to the mouse meet, but that was just amazing seeing the time that it took for you to do that, and all you had was your sketch pad and Sharpies, and it was just this incredible piece that came out at the end.
Is that the one that
I didn't plan that? I've just had nothing to do. Well, I had stuff to do, but I was like, I want to do something else, and besides Mickey,
something else. Well, and the Sleeping Beauty Castle that you did as well. I know, actually, it was one of our listeners that was the winner of that at the mouse meet. He was super stoked. He said he already went and got, 2 days after he brought it home, he got it professionally framed already, and it's proudly hanging up in his house.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, he was real excited.
Yeah, that was a bonus idea.
Yeah.
I just told Don Moran, I said, dude, here, do what you want with these and give them to, for charity if you want. I don't care. Just, you can have them. So, it was fun.
Well, they were definitely popular because some other person at the mouse meet came up to Dave, the person that won it, and said, just so you know, congrats to you, but apparently her friend had put 500 tickets or something, some crazy amount of tickets just in that one box trying to win it. Yeah, so it was definitely popular.
Well, you know what I wanted? I wanted the Halloween box. It was so beautifully done.
Yeah.
So Don said, put about 100 tickets in. I said, knowing me, I still wouldn't win it. So.
That's about my luck, too. But yeah, just incredible.
I got to make sure I go next time because I feel like it was such a cool event.
It was a very fun event. Eric, was that the first time you had been to the mouse meet this past year?
Oh, first time ever.
Yeah. Yeah. It's.
I was at D23 last September.
Yeah.
And they don't have that every year. I thought they did, but they didn't. I said, okay. So Leslie Iwerks was supposed to be up there for you guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she actually emailed me, said, Eric, I have something else I've got to do. Do you want to do this? You'd be a rock star at this. I said, no, I don't want to do stuff like that. It's embarrassing. I don't know how to talk to people. I don't want to be on stage with a microphone.
Yeah.
It'll be great. Just be yourself. You'll be fine. And so that's why I was so scared to do it. But I did it.
Oh, it was awesome. You were great.
Teresa spoke very highly of you when she was recounting her experience at the mouse meet. So
thank you.
I do see 3 somewhat recent things that is on your list of things that you've done that I'm interested to hear kind of a little bit more about because I don't know anything about these things. You have listed a Walt Disney World 50th celebration painting, a Shanghai Castle 5th anniversary painting, and a Tokyo Disneyland 40th anniversary painting. What are these?
So cool.
How do they come about?
These are all projects for Imagineering in the past 3 years. And John George's who's vice president of Blue Sky Imagineering, and Bob Weiss, when he was president there, those two guys called me to do these anniversary pieces for the parks. And then the Tokyo team called me to do that Tokyo one just this spring. So Bob Iger could present that to the president of Tokyo Disneyland.
That's cool.
But the Shanghai one, I made videos of all these, by the way. It'd be fun for you to watch.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so it was the anniversary of Shanghai. And so they want to give a gift to it's customary to give a gift to the president of the park over there.
Mm.
And so that was the purpose of those. I did 2 of those. And that was really an honor to do these anniversary paintings. I love doing that. And then that was a pretty big success. So he said, Eric, can you do a montage of the whole Walt Disney World's 50th?
Oh, jeez.
How do you do that?
Yeah, right.
And so he said, John George's idea was as an art director, said, Eric, let's do this. Pick the major icons of each park, montage that together, and sprinkle some of your magic in between them, and let's just make it that. And so you can see the tree, the Epcot ball, Tower of Terror, and the castle as those giant icons all kind of montage together. And then I sprinkled in some little things like the water tower with the mouse ears that they took out and all, stuff like that I loved. And I put in the Skyway, and a bunch of secrets are inside those paintings. So that was fun. And then after that, I'm starting to become the guy that paints anniversary stuff. So,
oh, jeez.
So they just keeps on rolling. So I love doing them. So you just keep on calling, and I keep on working.
I mean, I think that's like every artist's dream, right? Is to keep being called for stuff, and
yeah, totally.
Be the guy. Be the go.
No waiting today. Actually, just now, my phone just buzzed, and I just got, Eric, any chance you're available next Tuesday night for dinner in Los Angeles? But I just got a call from a theme park executive that wants something.
Oh.
They know you're talking about them right now.
I'm hoping maybe you'll get lucky if you want to do it. Pretty soon we're hitting Disneyland's 70th, and then, 5 years later it's going to be the 75th, which I think is probably going to be a pretty big anniversary for the park. I have to imagine they're going to do some cool anniversary stuff for that.
We'll cross our fingers.
Hey guys,
that
maybe I
tapped
should
on
do
the shoulder.
75 castles.
There you go.
Do Disney parks castles around the world, like 75 of
times.
them.
Yeah.
There you go.
Just starting this right now. Today, keep this conversation because if it happens, you guys are the first to invent it.
There you go.
You said it. We were just talking about it.
We just agreed. Yeah.
You came up with the idea. We can't take any credit. But I will say, if it is something you do, we would definitely not turn down a print
right, you got
for inspiring it. Because I saw, was it the one that the castle was also a sketch he did?
Yeah, that was the one that Dave got. Yeah.
Oh, was it? Okay, I was confused because that castle sketch that he won, I was like, Dave, of course, Dave. Dave. The other thing that's cool about Dave, Dave's listening to this, I'm sure, and going, "Oh, here we go." He's got an autograph book, and he has he could sell this thing for
I've signed it.
thousands of dollars.
He signed it.
He's got so many people.
Did a nice, I think it was a Goofy
book.
sketch.
That was a really nice book.
I'm so jealous.
It was a brilliant idea that he started doing that.
Yeah.
So before we wrap, because I know today's a special day for you, so we don't want to take up too much of your time, I just want to, can you tell us about your relationship with Herb Ryman and how you said that he was kind of, your spark of inspiration when you were there, and can you just kind of talk more about your relationship with him and kind of all of your...
He still is. I mean, I just showed you this. I have this print that I usually have it hanging up. I just took it down because But I look at his work every day, and I think about, man, just a huge inspiration. I mean, there's three artists in my life that inspired me: Sid Mead, Herb Ryman, and Van Gogh. And but Herbie, man, just his colors, his brush strokes, even his sketching style. He was loose but controlled, and there's something. Everybody that looks at his work goes, "God, the guy's a genius." So it's not just me that feels that, but for me, like I said, I got there as a designer, and I left as a painter, and I think it's mostly because of Herbie. And I was lucky enough to get to Imagineering as a second generation Imagineer, and Claude Coates was there, Alice Davis was there, Herbie Ryman was like 30 yards away, painting every day. And you just go like, holy crap. I mean, these guys are gods. And I'm sitting here, as a kid, just lucky to just watch them,
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, he's just a huge inspiration. He always will be. And I'm constantly thinking about him. I remember he was eating lunch in the Big D, which is the Imagineering cafeteria. It's called the Big D. And he's sitting there, and I go, man, I just was at the Disney Gallery, and I saw your New Orleans painting, your concept with the nuns in the foreground. He goes, hey, you want one? I'll bring one tomorrow for you. That's those at my house. I'll sign one and give it to you tomorrow. I said, no.
Wow.
He said, yeah, young man. I said, he says, what's your name? I said, my name's Eric. He goes, okay, well, tomorrow I'll bring you one. I'm like, Jesus, it's really cool. So, yeah, the guy's just a cool dude.
Wow. Amazing.
I'm super, super lucky. Came at the end of all those guys' careers. So John Hench was there. I worked with John Hench. I had a signing with John Hench. We had sitting at the same table signing Mickey Mouse in the gallery together. I mean, that was
that's wild.
Yeah, that's wild, right?
And that's really amazing that you got to experience that, because time marches on and circle of life and everything. And so you only get a limited amount of time to directly interact with these people, and that was so awesome that you came along at the right time to be able to work with them and everything. And, all of us Disney fans, we now talk about all these Imagineers and stuff when I think you've talked about it a lot of times, Teresa, where back in the day, like nobody knew who any of these people were, but now they're kind of like rock stars in the Disney fan community. So, and you got to like hang out with some of them and you got like a sign. I'll just bring you one.
And I didn't know who they were when I got there. I knew nothing about Imagineering at all. So I didn't even know, like I said, I was sitting in the lobby about to be interviewed and I saw that painting, went, wow, I don't know who that guy is, but I want to be like that guy, whatever.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know what his deal is, but so when I got there, of course, then you find out, oh, these guys were Walt's right-hand man already.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, then you go, oh, I'm in a good place. I took this job.
Do you ever find yourself in the opposite situation, like where people are like, I get to hang out next to Eric Robison. This is pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm sure he does.
As you get older, you realize that your value is the old ways. It sounds kind of stupid, but like there's no such thing as a pencil anymore in the world. It's like iPads and electronic Apple pens and things. And so when you pull out a Sharpie or a pencil and you sketch, people gather around because you're a dinosaur. You're like, well, look at this dude. This guy can draw with a pencil.
Yeah.
That's what young people say now. They're like, wow, that old man's got a Sharpie and look at it. And because they can't do it. They don't teach it anymore or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
But so, it feels good to have a 25-year-old art student go, oh man, you're the man. I wish I was in your generation. That feels good. I like it. So I'm good sketch for them.
I'll tell you a quick thing that should make you feel a little better. I'm hosting an exchange student this year. His name's Mauro from Spain, and he's really into industrial design, and he prefers to just draw on paper with a protractor and a compass, and he draws car stuff. He's really good, but he doesn't do any of that on the computer or on his tablet. He's got those things, but he's a paper guy, and he's 17, so... Cool.
That's good to hear that.
It's not just the dinosaurs.
Now I've had to learn just a year ago because I was working on a job for Jason Momoa called Chief of War. It's a film, and I had to learn to use an Apple Pen, and so really fast. And so I've never stopped learning, and I love it. It's really fun to use. It's really fun to see the product from it. So I'm willing to go backwards. I'm not so stubborn like, oh, the old ways are the only ways. No, I really love the modern technique of creating imagery. So
it's just one more thing to add to your toolbox. One more, you've used forks, you've used bamboos,
coasters.
Right.
Why not? It's just another medium.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, Eric, we are going to wrap up. Was there anything that you wanted to talk about that we did not already cover?
You guys covered everything.
I was going to say, it seems like we did a lot, but awesome. All right. Well, if you could work at Disneyland, so if you're working at the park, what would you do there? Sky's the limit. You can have any job. You can even make one up.
Okay, I would definitely be in air conditioning.
Fair. That is very fair.
Yeah, I would find out wherever the air conditioning is, that's where I'd be. I think it'd be fun because I don't like standing too much. I would like to be the train conductor that just cruises around the outside of the park all day. You get to sit. You don't have to deal with any guests.
That's true.
You're the driver.
You get to just sit in peace.
Yeah. So I like that idea. Like I said, I love the Pirates and the Haunted Mansion. So it'd be cool to be in there. But I thought about that. Though in those jobs, you have to deal with the guests, and I don't know if I could handle a lot of complaining and whatever those poor operators go through. I love the guests, but I see some of our cast members go through some hell sometimes, and like, I don't know if I want to do that. So it would probably be something behind the scenes, like the conductor, like that. Yeah.
So this just off topic. Have you ever gone to the Animation Academy at Disneyland? It's over in DCA. And what are your thoughts of being an artist, and what are your thoughts on the Animation Academy?
Yeah, I never went in California. I went to the one, there used to be one in Florida, I think. At MC.
Yeah,
I went to that one. I didn't go to the Academy, but I saw it there. Mm-hmm. And I've never seen the California one, I don't think. But I did happen upon some guy on a microphone was teaching everybody to draw Mickey Mouse.
Yeah.
I
don't know where that was. I don't even know where it was. But I remember I was with my kids, and they said, "Hey, Dad, you should sit down and do that." And it would be fun. And so I did. I sat down. I don't know if that's the Academy, but it was some kind of thing.
Yep.
And so the guy was on the microphone. He's up on sketching, and you're supposed to look at the big screen of what he does, and then you're supposed to do it. And so I just sat down and just started going, not waiting for him to finish the left ear, And so he's walking around looking at everybody's stuff and just, you're getting it. You're getting it. I'm like, okay, this is a little loose, but you come along. I was like, this is fun, So I just kept my mouth shut and just left the sketch there on the table.
That's amazing.
It was fun. It was fun. But
I hope that cast member's listening. Yeah. Like, I was like, wait a minute. That's incredible. Well, Eric, thank you so much for your time and telling us all of your amazing, very cool stories about your time in Imagineering and all of your different things with your current role with all the Disney artwork. It's amazing. There's something about your style that just is captivating. And I don't know how many pictures, that's one of the things this is going to sound silly, but one of the things I love about the Howard Johnson is it's your artwork, and they also have some artwork from Shaq. So it's or Shag. So it's I don't know, it's just more unique. It's not the same, like we were kind of saying before, cookie cutter versions of the characters, but it's comforting, but it's just fun.
It's kind of whimsical.
It is. It very much is. I just love it.
Thank you very much.
So thank you so much.
Where can people, listeners of this episode, where can people find and follow you on the internet? Like if they want to see where you're going to be at, or if they want to purchase some of your artwork or something like that, where's the best way for people to find you?
Well, I guess social media is probably better than my website. My website's really nicely designed by Andrew Coldwell was his name, did a beautiful design of my website. But I think most people look at social these days. So my Facebook page, what's it called? Disney artist Eric Robison fan page. You guys you can find.
We'll put a link in the show notes to make sure we direct them to the right place.
The most popular on Instagram, Eric Robison Disney artist, and ericrobison.com, imagiboom.com. That links to it too. But as far as selling the work, I kind of sell things. Non-Disney work is in the galleries. My Disney work is in Copenhagen, and that's going to be an online sale. That's a big deal in November. You guys get all this new stuff in November from La Galerie Plus, Disneyana Plus. Mm-hmm. I'll give you that link.
Yeah.
But it's La Galerie Disneyana Plus in English in Copenhagen. So that's a huge. In fact, I'm signing 1,000 prints right now. My hand's getting raw. signing stuff. So that's all the places you could buy my stuff, I guess. Yeah.
Awesome.
Excellent. Well, Eric, thank you so much for your time, and also thank you for all of the lovely artwork that you've blessed everybody with, because it's very enjoyable to look at, and it's so different than everything else. And I think that's what makes it enjoyable is Mickey and Donald and all these characters you can see in like their normal things like everywhere. Yeah. It's nice to kind of see them more whimsical. And I personally, artwork wise, I love color, and you have a lot of color, and I love it.
It's a blessed career, and it's a privilege to do this, and especially people like you and all the fans out there. They're just so sweet to me, and always kind words. And you know what? That's what keeps you going. But I'm super lucky and blessed. I tell you a million times, you can't get a better career. I just can't get it. I can't believe this happened to me. And here I am kind of winding down. I'm in my 60s now. I got another good decade left in me, but it's been a privilege. It's an absolute privilege to be a Disney artist. I tell you, I love it. It's a great job.
It's okay. I'll be the only weekly tier without an answer. Make sure you send your questions to Producer James or Producer Vern at trivia@DLWeekly.net.
Well, welcome back to Trivia Land. You two rolled through those questions pretty quickly. I feel like you're feeling better than what you gave feeling at the beginning, right?
It was better than last week, for sure.
Yeah, Vern was tough last week. There is no
too many numbers last week.
Lots of numbers last week.
Okay, in fairness, the listeners were tough last week, and Vern just made it a
So
real
these
thing.
questions, are these listener questions or are these your questions?
These are my questions.
Oh, so you're much easier.
I'm taking pity on you.
Taking pity on
I appreciate that.
Sometimes you need it. Sometimes it's fun to know the answers, or surprise me when you know the answers. So let's go to the answers, huh? First question this week was, what defunct attraction allowed guests to pilot their own vessels around a trackless lagoon? You both went with the Phantom boats. I was looking for the Tomorrowland boats, but they're like the same thing, just with a slight refurb. So points for you.
Yay! Were they just called the Tomorrowland boats?
On opening, they were the Tomorrowland boats.
Oh.
They ran out of creative juices, Tag, okay?
Yeah, they were just...
Give them
They had to come with all the creative juices of labeling the weeds in Storybook Land canal boats.
Yes.
Yeah, my quick reading as you were having your discussion topic was, guests just weren't excited to get into normal boats. So
weren't they also like people weren't good at bringing them back, and they like a lot of cast members fell into the water trying to like maneuver them and everything.
Oh, that doesn't surprise me one bit.
Yeah.
So
they weren't around for a very long time.
Sure.
Self-guided tours. That's tough to do. So, question number 2. Before it became Finding Nemo Submarine Adventure, what other IP was considered for refurbishment? Tag told the correct story, correct movie, everything. Atlantis: The Lost Empire. Well done.
Good job, Tag.
Woo! Good job, Tag.
Number 3. Imagineers created their own color to paint things guests aren't supposed to see, or at least disappear in the background. What is the name of the color? You gave me Go Away Green. That is one of 2 correct answers.
Oh.
I would have also taken No-See-Um Green.
No-See-Um? I don't think I've heard that one.
No, I don't think so either.
No-See-Um Green. Yep. I think there are 2 different shades of green, if I remember right. Proprietary colors of green to blend it in there. So,
So follow up on the Tomorrowland / Phantom boats.
Oh, yes, please.
So after a brief and troublesome year, the Phantom boats closed for good.
The trivia I saw there was it was the first permanent attraction to close at Disneyland.
Yeah, it was the first permanent attraction. So they opened on opening day. After a month of troubled operations and constant breakdowns, the ride closed for a brief refurbishment and opened in August, named the Tomorrowland Phantom boats. And yeah, it closed permanently the next year. Poor Phantom boats.
They lasted about as long as the rocket rods.
Yeah.
They did better than some of the shops on Main Street, though.
Look at this. Okay, I'm going to have to we'll put this in the notes because I've gone on way too much of a tangent. This was a giant area you piloted this boat around, and no wonder people weren't coming back because, like, there were islands in this. These boats are crazy looking, too.
I mean, they had to fit with Tomorrowland, right?
Yeah.
And here we are, like, 40 years after Tomorrowland's supposed to be, and we still don't have boats that cool.
We do not have boats that cool.
I mean, I guess some people might. But anyway, let's wind this down. Question number 4. Who is the voice of GT4T, the security droid for Star Tours The Adventure Continues? I thought I was going to have to give you a hint that it's a person who knows a thing or two about flight information, but no, Tig got it right away. It's Patrick Warburton.
That man is a national treasure. His voice. I just love his voice and everything that he's done.
I was fascinated to stumble on that one.
Because we were talking about it in line, James, and I don't think you looked it up then or something, but I'm guessing you looked it up after.
I looked it up later. Yep.
Yeah.
Speaking of voices that you enjoy, that sounds weird, and then wrapping it back into the Destination D23, I was sad that you missed Sam Eagle's stage debut, stage presence.
Oh.
Sam Eagle came out, and it was hilarious. I can't remember
love
what it was
Sam
he was talking
Eagle.
about, but yeah, it was funny.
Celebrating the nations of the world, but mostly America.
It was him and Professor Mellon. Is that what the Beakers?
Honeydew? Professor Honeydew?
That's it. Professor Honeydew. They were going back and forth on whose restaurant was the best restaurant in Epcot. That's what it was. And he did have a thing that was kind of like, I love all the pavilions equally except for the American one. like something. But yeah. Anyways, it was funny.
I mean, I would love more Muppets in the park.
I'm telling you, I thought they were going to announce a Muppets thing, and I was real excited. And then it just didn't.
There's room in Trivia Land for Muppets. I'm just saying.
There's room in Trivia Land for the Muppets.
We could use another e-ticket here.
There you go.
So, James, I'm saying that you or Vern need to do a Trivia Land in the voice of Elmo.
Oh, you know how good I am at accents and
I know.
impressions. This is going to go great. Yeah, so room for an e-ticket ride and room for more trivia questions from the listeners. You could send producer Vern and I an email with all of your ideas and questions and everything else to try to stump or help TNT. That's trivia@dlweekly.net.
Well, we will be back next week with more Disneyland news and information.
Until then, go out and enjoy the parks.
Thank you to our editor, Sidel, for beautifully editing this episode and making sure all the show notes are posted.
Please remain seated until the podcast comes to a complete stop and the doors have opened. Then collect your belongings, watch your head, and step carefully from the episode. On behalf of all of our crew, thanks for traveling with us, and we hope you have a happy and memorable visit here at DL Weekly.